Today, I'm going to talk about why I like Transformers so much, especially Optimus Prime. Hi, I'm Aaron Jones, and welcome to another one of my vlogs coming to you from Niihama in Japan. And today, I wanted to talk to you about why I like Transformers so much, and my thoughts on the Michael Bay Transformers films. I remember like it was yesterday when I first saw the original Transformers More Than Meets the Eye miniseries in 1984. This was the first 3 episodes of the G1 cartoon. From the moment it started, I was sucked right in. I had not even discovered the toys yet, but it did sell them to me and I bought. More about that later. The idea of vehicles, guns, and other things changing into robots was just too cool for 9-year-old me. So during the first miniseries, I became a fan of Optimus Prime. I mean, this big red rig becoming this awesome leader of the Autobots with the rich voice of Peter Cullen became my hero. At the same time, I became a fan of Starscream, which is my favorite Decepticon. Anyways, after that first miniseries aired, I was hooked, and I still am today, 30 years later. Over 30 years later. Now this brings me to the toys. Growing up in the 1980s, almost all the cartoons in that period were all commercials. And I was one of the biggest suckers for this, especially when it comes to Transformers. The first Transformers I ever bought was Dum 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 Optimus Prime. And this is him right here. This is the first Transformer I ever bought, the actual one. When I went back to Canada in 2015, he was still there. I'd asked my mother when I moved to Japan not to throw out the Transformers, and she didn't, and I brought him back. Now, he's a little old, but I have other Optimus Primes up here, but I did bring him back to my collection. I have all the pieces and everything. It's just he's very fragile. He's very old. He's over 30 years old. He's only, a few years younger than me, 10 years younger than me or whatever. Anyways, and I also brought back some other ones. I have also Starscream, and in this cabinet there's the original Bumblebee. He's over here, a little tiny little yellow car like that. Here's Starscream. I also have him, and he's in the fairly good condition after 30 years with no lost parts. Anyways, let's talk about the Transformers movies. And we're going to first start off talking about the animated movies. I have the poster up here. You might have seen it in the other part of the videos. This is in the 1986 Transformers, the movie. When I was young, I was so excited. I heard it when this was coming out. And that summer, my mother and my sister and I, we went to Sweden to see my grandparents. I was so worried that our trip would be late and we wouldn't be able to see the movie. Anyways, just before we went to Sweden as well, there was Expo 86 in Vancouver, British Columbia. And there was a stand, I remember very clearly, and they had the poster there. And as a young boy, I was very excited. There's the poster for the movie I want to see. Anyways, we came back from Sweden and the movie hadn't opened yet, so back in time. I was so excited. Anyways, went to see the movie and it was an emotional roller coaster and it wasn't what I expected. If you have not seen the 1986 The Transformers, the movie, animated movie, I'm going to talk about spoilers, but I suggest you go see it. Anyways. It started off with a cool introduction of Unicron and the 80s theme song of the really rock and roll 80s version of the Transformers theme song used in the movie. And then there was the violent deaths of Brawn, Ratchet, Prowl, and Ironhide right at the beginning. And I can just name these off because I remember them very well. I don't even have to look this up because I was in the movie theater shocked. There's Ironhide, and they just get Brawn. They get killed by Megatron and Starscream and the other Decepticons. And I'm not going to talk about a lot of the old deaths in there, but 11-year-old me just was shocked. I was locked on that movie theater like this. Yeah, the Transformers. And then, of course, there was the big battle that can't be mentioned between Optimus Prime and Megatron, where in the end Optimus Prime dies and he passes on the the matrix of leadership, and that is kind of like the very, very strong image in me. And of course, Optimus Prime being my favorite Transformer of them all was very, very, very shocking. But the original generation series was, I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it today. It's very campy, it's very fun, and that's what I love about the Transformers. I'm a very generation one. And I've got these collector ones up here, the, what do they call them? Masterpiece figures, Optimus Prime and stuff, and I like collecting those ones now. I don't like the new toys and the movie toys unless they're this series. I don't often buy any Transformers figures, just the ones I really want, the very good ones. But sometimes they're a little costly, which is strange for a 42-year-old man to buy. Anyways, next, I can't ignore this one. This is the Michael Bay Transformers movies. I have very mixed feelings about them. I enjoy them, but I know they could have been better. And I was very excited when the first one was coming out, when there was going to be finally a live-action Transformers movie being made. And then Peter Cullen, the original voice of Optimus Prime, was coming back to be Optimus Prime, which for me, that voice of Optimus Prime is like the most important thing in the Transformers universe. If Optimus Prime doesn't have Peter Cullen's voice, I really have a hard time watching. It's that voice of Optimus Prime that's Optimus Prime. So I'm glad that Michael Bay went with Peter Cullen to do Optimus Prime's voice, because that becomes Optimus Prime. Because that voice is just too iconic if you're a Transformers fan, not to have Optimus Prime without that voice. Anyways, this could have been done a lot better, I think. I did enjoy the movies, the first three, and now, yeah, the problem with the Michael Bay movies is they're almost pretty the same. The Autobots and the humans, mostly humans, have to find something on Earth before the Decepticons find it, and something bad happens. I mean, all the movies follow this pattern. There's something to find, and we must find it, and the human can do something to help the Autobots find it before the Decepticons do. That's all the movies, even up to the latest one, Last Night. They have to find something to do something before the Decepticons find it and do something. Anyways, now they're opening up with the Transformers universe thing that's, following what Marvel has done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Star Wars is doing, and I have talked about a little bit of a dislike for this. I don't like it so much because I think it starts to water the brand down a little bit, becomes too much to follow. Like, I've pretty much given up on the Marvel Universe movies because I don't know what to watch in what order anymore. Yeah, I can look it up, but I'm too lazy to do that. It should be easy. They should have something that tells you the order in the title somehow. The Thor Avengers 4 or something like that, so that you know which ones to watch, because there is some kind of an order to them, and things happen between these two movies. And I wanted to go see the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie, but I haven't seen the Avengers movie or the Captain America movie where Spider-Man appears. I thought maybe that's kind of an important movie to see before that one. I'm guessing that's happened before the Spider-Man movie. I don't know. But anyways, let me know down in the description before. I'm worried about that with the Transformers as well. But I'm hoping also that they have this new thing, and Michael Bay is finished apparently, that maybe they can get a new storylines. Now, the end of the movie, the last night, did kind of set that up a little bit. Now, as with the Michael Bay Transformers movies, they have mixed feelings, but the end of the movie kind of ended it, I felt, where they're going to start to do something different, because it's set up a different world. If you haven't seen the movie, if you're interested, I'm not going to spoil that movie because it's just a very recent movie, but it kind of sets up something different to happen in the next movie, which is good. They're also making a Bumblebee not origin story movie, but a movie that takes place in the 1980s. It seems like Bumblebee's going to be a Volkswagen Beetle, just like in the cartoon. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it 2 more movie chances before I kind of give up on the series like I did with Marvel. But with the Transformers, as long as Optimus Prime is there with Peter Cullen, it's very difficult. Anyways, that's just some of my love and my interest and my feelings about Transformers. I try to get it out onto my video, and then I never have to touch on the subject again. Because if you've seen my vlog before, you've probably seen the Transformers figure sitting back in this display case, because very nostalgic part of my childhood. And a lot of people were interested in G.I. Joe and some other Spider-Man characters, but I was always very, very big in Optimus Prime and the Transformers. You can ask my family. When I was young, I was just a nutcase when it comes to the Transformers 1986 movie. I watched over and over and over like a crazy person, and Generation 1. Now, I'm not a fan of other generations. A lot of people were interested in the Beast Wars. I never got into that, or any other ones. I'm just very much the first 2 seasons in the movie. Season 3 that takes place after the movie, so-so, but it's part of the thing. They did bring Optimus Prime back, kind of, in that series, but I think it was the quality went way down after the Transformers movie. The first 2 seasons were good. I mean, the animation is not the best animation, but I felt that after the movie finished and they went on with season 3 that takes place after the movie, that the animation and it wasn't as nice. It was good. It didn't have the feeling that I enjoyed from the original. It was the original series that took place in modern time. Now, the movie, the Transformers movie, takes place in 2005. So that the series season 3 takes place in 2005. Now it's 2017, but at that time it was 1986. So everything matched up. Everything was modern trucks. Like Optimus Prime was a truck, and Starscream was this plane. They were all everyday transforming vehicles, but in the movie they became more futuristic, and they weren't regular things. Now, yes, in Generation 1 there is the Dinobots, and those are very special, but most of the Autobots and Decepticons were modern day vehicles. But after the 1986 movies, they kind of rebooted the toy line. That was kind of the point of the movie, why they killed everybody. But they were all like futuristic vehicles that transported into robots. And what the appeal was this airplane, which is like a real airplane, transforms into a robot. And that's the appeal that got me. Anyways, I've rambled so much on about Transformers. What's your staple 1980s, if you're from the 1980s or the 1990s, 1970s? One program or character set that you just that's your favorite one. For me, it's going to be Transformers. Yes, there's a lot of other things I like. I liked He-Man, and I did like G.I. Joe, and I do like Batman, but like when it comes down to it, the one that's the base for me is the Transformers Generation 1 Optimus Prime. So what for you is your character or series that is like the one that never changes, that has been there since you were young and you have a very nostalgic feeling for it? Please let me know in the description below. I'd love to know. Anyways, that's enough of my rambling for today. Until next time, we'll see you then. Goodbye.